Actually, no, we're not. This is a pre-recorded episode? It's been 270 episodes since we've done a non-live show? A pre-recorded one? What the Rudy Poo is that? Regardless, this is episode 270. I'm your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports. I have a little family get-together tonight on this Monday evening on 6/21/2021. It's my father-in-law's birthday, so we're going over to their house to celebrate his birthday. So we'll be doing a pre-recorded show, and we'll just go that route, see how it goes. At least we get an episode in. It's going to be a fun time, though, because we got a lot to get into. The one thing I hate about this is I'm going to miss the comments. So one thing that going live for 270 episodes has done for me is that I hate missing the comments. Like, it drives me nuts. But we got to get through it. It's going to be fun. Mike Bianco staying at Ole Miss. Who would have told you that? Oh, wait. We did. I did. We talked about this. What is the truth? You can't handle the truth. But we're going to tell you the real truth. Even though some LSU reporters botched the shit out of this one, even though they told you it's going to be Thursday or Friday, Mike Bianco, it's inevitable. Mike Bianco is going to be your next head coach at LSU. That's not true. That's not true. As last night is reported that he had accepted an extension. As we told you Thursday, I had already heard that it was looking like he was going to accept. I'd heard that he was going to accept an extension at Ole Miss, but we were waiting to clarify that one and hear for sure. But he is. Also, some very interesting news broke today. If you haven't seen, Catholic High of Baton Rouge, per WAFB, has been secretly sanctioned by the LHSAA, Louisiana High School Athletic Association, and Eddie Bonin, who is the president, have allegedly secretly sanctioned Catholic High. I'm going to get really into that one. I feel a Ruffino's rant coming on. I feel it coming, guys. Actually, you know what? We're going to start with that one when we come out of here. We're going to start with, after we do a little commercials, after we pay some bills, we're going to come out with Catholic High here. It's going to be interesting. There's some things that I've already heard and have been waiting for it to come out. I know that a lot of good people have been working on this. I've talked to them today and reached out to some other sources on this too, as this has kind of been going on for a while. I know I've talked to a lot of people off the record, off the air about Catholic High. We do have a couple of documents that we can share and some sources that are sourcing, not sources, but sourcing that we can share on that. So I'm really interested to get into that one. Really interesting to get in to that one. Man, I feel like I'm missing out on so much. Feel like I'm missing. Oh, name, image, and likeness. Name, image, and likeness. The Supreme Court. Congress. Name, image, and likeness is going through. Bring me back my video game. Name, image, and likeness, as we kind of all knew, was going to be passed. But SCOTUS unanimously rules the NCAA bearing student athletes education-related benefits violate federal antitrust laws, which is very interesting. We'll talk about name, image, and likeness as well. Usually, I would say we get your comments here, but we can't. God, I hate that so much. But you know what? Let's pay some bills around this thing. Let's pay some bills. And then when we come back, we'll talk about a little Catholic High and some Mike Bianco and some coaching searches. None better than our good friends over at GM Varnado & Sons. GM Varnado & Sons has faithfully been serving your Denham Springs and Baton Rouge area for over 62 years. With their highly trained technicians, there's absolutely nothing that they can't do. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. Give them a call today at 225-664-9992. That's 225-664-9992. Or go see them over at 2500 Florida Boulevard, Denham Springs, Louisiana, and tell them your good friend Mr. Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by. And our good friends over at betonline.ag, guys, as the month of June is heating up, because it is heating up. It's hot as a sun bitch out there. Probably shouldn't have said that, but it's hot. It's really hot in the state of Louisiana. Get on over to betonline.ag. Use your mobile device to sign up today. They'll give you 50% off that welcome bonus. So before the tip-off, face-off, pitch, go over to betonline.ag, place those bets, and you will have a really good time at winning, because I know you guys are winners. You are winners. betonline.ag. That's betonline.ag. Tell me your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by. Okay. Let's get into this, because we got some Catholic High. Catholic High is in the news. They cheating, y'all. They recruiting their ass off. Gabe Fertitta, the head coach, the former head coach of Catholic, cheating his ass off. Out there recruiting when it's against the rules. Now, if you haven't seen the WBAFB story, I'm going to break a couple of this down. Eddie Bonin was asked from a comment in reference to this. So here's probably about to come the Ruffino's rant. But Eddie Bonin was asked in reference to Catholic from WAFB, and he told them he would not confirm any specifics on Catholic High and their investigation, that that WAFB would have to go through Catholic High to get any and all of that type of information. Saying any and all information surrounding the situation will come from Catholic High School. Bonin did add, though, that the sanctions against Catholic High did not include any postseason bans, and no student athletes are going to be ordered to move or transfer back to their zone schools of attendance, meaning if you were supposed to go to, I don't know, a Struma, Terra, wherever, you don't have to go back there. You can stay at Catholic High. Now, we're going to give a couple of different things that I've heard and a couple of things from this article. WAFB would also say we follow the LHSA procedure of not discussing private situations involving members' schools. Now, let's stop right there. Let me read that again. Ashley Davies said that she does not have to discuss private situations along with Eddie Bonin. Now, let's break this down very quickly, because this one's very interesting. This one's very interesting on Catholic High and from the LHSAA. So a couple of seasons ago, do you remember former LSU quarterback Marcus Randall was the head coach over at Southern Lab School? And the LHSAA popped Southern Lab with sanctions and then went public with it. Now, the LHSAA is going to make the excuse, well, we got backlash from making it public. Well, who gives a shit? You made it public. The LHSAA is so corrupt that they will take a primarily minority school and throw them through the ringer. And boy, don't make this about, I'm not trying to make it anything. I'm just calling it what it is. Putting them through the ringer. But when it comes to the most if not the most predominant school in the state, you get them for violations and you secretly hammer them? What is that about? What in the hell is that about? That's not due process. That's not what your governing body is here for. You're here to make sure that rules are followed. Now, I know that everybody's going to tattoo me in reference to, well, Blake is one person, and I'm not trying to call him out, but Austin Nichols on Twitter even said, Sweet Nasty 791, that's his Twitter handle, Cheese and Pete's. But yeah, kids that are recruited there, they're not, they're recruited there because of their athleticism, but they get a good education. That's not what this is about. It is against the rules to actively recruit kids to come to your school. It just is. Now, they may get a better education, but you can't actively go out there and recruit them to come to your school. You can't do that. Now, I'm going to tell you this. There are some other things behind this Catholic story that is not coming to light. Now, I'm not going to share it at the current moment because there is some sourcing that I need to run down on this. There are some more documentations that need to come to light. There's some more things that need to happen before that goes public. And I think that WAFB, myself, and others are waiting for those documentations so before they run this. But it has nothing to do with just recruiting. But it's interesting that former Catholic high school coach Gabe Fertitta, who left Catholic in 2020 after winning a championship for a college job at Louisville, he leaves after making that program what it was for an analyst role, for a quality control analyst role at Louisville, and now we're finding out that Catholic got popped with sanctions. I'm going to tell you this right now. The LHSAA better come out with what in the hell they popped them with. You want to make a statement? It's the ultimate way to make a statement. The ultimate way to make a statement to show every public school that you got their back. You divided playoffs because you knew that this shit was happening and you never did anything about it. You never did anything about it. Well, Blake, what does it matter? They're just, it's helping the kid. Yeah, but it's not fair to all the other kids at other public schools when other very talented kids are leaving public schools and going to private schools and playing in athletics, playing football. That's not how this works. Now, I know that there's a lot of great people. Let me say this too, because I know it's what's going to sound. There's a lot of great people that go to Catholic. There's a lot of great and fantastic people that work at Catholic. They also got caught cheating. Eddie Bonin, do you guys remember a couple of years ago? I forget the kid's name. But the quarterback that went up to Hanville, he was, I forget the kid's name off the hat. Let me look this up. Hanville, he came from, I forget the kid's name, but he came from like Vanderbilt Catholic. Nick Salterformaggio, maybe? No. I don't remember. But regardless, they would not allow a kid whose dad got Andrew Robinson. That's it. Andrew Robinson was a kid that was ineligible for the 2018 season. If you don't remember that. His dad coached at Vandy. His dad left, and he went to Hanville, and then they ruled the kid ineligible because his dad left the school, and the kid wanted to leave with him. Well, Vanderbilt threw a hissy fit and said that the kid couldn't go to Hanville with his dad, that he had to stay here. He couldn't play at Vanderbilt. The LHSAA ruled that the kid was ineligible. So you're going to do that to that kid, but you're going to secretly sit behind the sanctions of Catholic. You're going to run out there and throw the hammer and tell the public about Southern Lab. Marcus Randall gets fired. Thank God he has a job at Woodlawn now. Gets fired. But you're not going to say anything about Catholic? Why is that? Why is that? Now, I might take some heat from this, and I understand that. I understand that. But at some point, we got to make a statement needs to be made to every private school in the state of Louisiana. If you want to recruit and you get caught, you get popped. Now, I was hearing some things that they've known for a month about the ruling, meaning Catholic. They've known for 2 weeks. They've known for a year. Regardless, they got popped. Now, I don't know if it's my place to say how this all came to light, so I'm not going to. Meaning, I know how this all started. meaning I know how Catholic or how the LHSA went down this rabbit hole and got to Catholic. Now, the reason I don't want to go down that rabbit hole is I don't know if I really want to burn anybody's sources. I don't know if I want to do that to the kid and the person that it might have affected or it might affect. So let me just say this. There is no disgruntled employee. There is nobody lying about Catholic. At the end of the day, Catholic illegally, regardless, Catholic illegally recruited kids from other parishes and kids that should have gone to other schools. They got popped with it. And now they're, oh, well, Blake, it's okay. It's okay. No, it's not okay. If you want to be able to recruit kids and quote unquote give them a better education, then you better be able to do that to kids and for kids that don't play football. It's a joke. Eddie Bonin, I am not the biggest fan of Eddie Bonin at all. At all. Also in the article, while Bonin would not comment on specifics about the investigation. So there is an investigation, and there had been an investigation. The LHSA president, Eddie Bonin, did tell WAFB-TV that Catholic high administrators have accepted and do not plan to appeal. So if they're keeping it secret and Catholic doesn't plan to appeal and there's no postseason ban for Catholic, like, do we have tiers of how this goes down? Like, is there a death penalty for Catholic high? Is there like a SMU death penalty that needs to happen here? Like, what are the tiers? So a kid's dad gets fired from a public school, goes to a private school, goes to a public school. You know what? He can't play his senior year. But hell no, Catholic can recruit kids all across Baton Rouge. They get caught. Ain't shit going to happen about it. Ask any public school, high school coach how pissed off this makes him. More public schools than private schools, by the way. More kids go to public schools than they do private schools. There's more coaches and kids that are upset that this goes on than in private institutions. Ask any high school coach if this pisses him off. I guarantee you he will. Here's the rule. I just looked this up. Here's the rule in reference to recruiting. Then we'll move on to the LSU Baseball Coaching Search. Athletic recruiting is defined as one of use and undue influence and or special inducement by anyone connected directly or indirectly with the LHSAA school in an attempt to encourage, induce, pressure, urge, or entice a prospective student of any age to transfer or retain a student at a school for purpose of participating in interscholastic athletics. Here's one thing that I haven't mentioned. I've been keeping this for last. Do you really think that it's just about recruiting these kids? Do you really think that they just recruited them to come to Catholic High, that no money was transferred? If you believe that large amounts of money was not transferred in a pay-to-play scheme in reference to recruiting, then you've lost your ever-living mind. You've lost it. Now, I'm not going to go in and speculate how players were paid. I'm assuming it was through their parents. I'm sure through tuition. I'm sure through a lot of different ways. Parents and kids were paid to play at Catholic. Let's not be naive. Let's not be dumb enough to believe that didn't happen. So if you've been in the camp, now with name, image, and likeness around the forefront, if you've ever been in the camp, well, I just don't agree with name, image, and likeness. Now flip it on a high school kid and his parents getting paid to go to schools like Catholic. I'm going to tell you something. I'm glad that this is out in the light. I'm glad that this is out because this is utter bullshit. It is. I wonder if Gabe Fertitta, the old Catholic head coach, is going to make a statement. I wonder if he's going to make a statement. Catholic high! Rudy Poos. Here's where WAFB has Catholic. This one statement. Then we're going to move on. Documents provided by a source to WAFB TV show instances of Catholic high staff being instructed to scout specific middle school teams and youth organizations for potential recruits. So you mean to tell me that WAFB has that, and you mean to tell me that they don't have other stuff? Are you going to try to convince me that WAFB doesn't have a money trail? Maybe they just didn't confirm that one. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Anyway, I'm probably going to take some backlash on it, but you know what? I don't give a Rudy poo. I really don't care. You can't cheat. It's against the rules. You can pop minority schools like Southern Lab and turn a secretive blind eye. Now, you pop them, but you don't let the public know that you've popped Catholic high. Why is that? Well, we don't have to. Well, you should. You know, the one thing about the NCAA, yeah, they might not go out and make a statement about popping universities, big universities for small infractions, but they sure as shit, when they got a big university by the gonads, they go ahead and say it, right? Like they go ahead and let you know that. Breaking, the NCAA is going after that ass. Because as much as I don't like the NCAA, at least they got the nads. They got the marbles to go out there and say we've got their ass. The NCAA has spent millions of dollars trying to find Will Wade, the LSU head basketball coach, guilty of something that they think that he did, and they can't do it. And you mean to tell me that if they got Will Wade, they wouldn't break a statement? They wouldn't make a statement about LSU? Shit. Somebody needs to find a spine. Anyway, let's do this. Let's get over to a couple more. Let's pay some more bills around this thing and more of our good friends, and then we'll get to this LSU baseball coaching search. More into this LSU baseball coaching search. But we got to talk about our good friend, Mr. John Patton, over at GMFS Mortgage. Guys, if you're thinking about buying a new home, saving money on the mortgage that you have now, or even doing that cash out refi, the timing has never been better. Get in touch with John Patton from GMFS Mortgage today, 225-614-1234. That's 225-614-1234. Purchase, renovate, refinance, build, renovate. GMFS and John Patton, they can take care of you today. GMFS, they are changing lives. And our good friends over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. That's drakewilliamslawfirm.com, 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600. Go over to the Drake Williams Law Firm today. DWI, real estate, title, successions, anything and everything that you need, they can do it. That's drakewilliamslawfirm.com, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. And our good friend, Mr. Richie Roche, over at Roche's Lawn and Landscape, 225-937-7220. That's 225-937-7220. If you want the best looking yard in your neighborhood, Richie Roche and Company can get that done for you today. Again, 225-937-7220. Tell him your good friend, Mr. Blake Ruffino at AYS. Sit you on by. Okay. Now let's get into this LSU baseball coaching search. If you haven't heard already, geez, we do got a lot to get into. I kind of hate to tell you I told you so, but I told you so. Mike Bianco is not going to be the new coach at LSU. He's accepted the extension at Ole Miss. Now, well, where some people thought and some people said, so let's talk about this. Now let's get on another probably Ruffino's rant. Guys, it's been widely reported over the last week, or was widely reported over the last week, that Mike Bianco was going to get named last Tuesday or Thursday. Or no, excuse me. Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday that Mike Bianco was going to get named the next head baseball coach at LSU. Well, that's not the case. So, as we've talked over the last couple of weeks, not only did a lot of people report that Kevin O'Sullivan was the lead candidate, and I'm glad it wasn't Kevin O'Sullivan. I know LSU did their due diligence. So, you know what? I might give them a pass on Kevin O'Sullivan. But then this whole Pat Casey's the front runner. Pat Casey's looking like he's going to be the next head coach at LSU. Well, he isn't. So there's that. And now we got Mike Bianco. So at what point, I kind of feel like if this were us, if this were AYS, if Blake Ruffino would have ran out there with a statement, if I would have ran out there and said last week, sources, Mike Bianco is going to be the next head coach at LSU, and then he wasn't, I would have gotten skull drug. The media that covers LSU, the quote-unquote media would have said, you never listen to a podcast guy. Well, what about now? What about now? Because what I don't understand is how that they can get this so totally wrong and nobody's talking about it. Matt Moscona, Glenn Gilbo, Kendall Rogers. Let's call it who they are. They've all three gotten this wrong from the beginning. And so, at what point do we say, you know what, guys, you've gotten it wrong? Catholic High! You've gotten it wrong. And I would be damned, as we've had Glenn on the show before, we got to call people out for their nonsense, their Rudy Poo. I told you last week, if you don't remember the show, I think it was last Tuesday, so go back and listen to it. I told you. That's not how real sourcing and reporting works. You don't just get a text from one individual, unless that individual is Scott Woodward, which it's not. Unless Scott Woodward tells you that he's hired Mike Bianco, you don't run out there with it. I do think that the next head coach is still playing or coaching in Omaha. Actually, I'm pretty positive. That our coach is still in Omaha. I would be very interested to find out. Tim Corbin's name has been one that's been very interesting. So as we're recording this, and I'm not going to give you the exact time, but, come on. When I would have an hour break to do this. Tim Corbin is an interesting name, the Vanderbilt head coach. Sounds like him and his athletic director kind of have a differences of opinion. Now, Vanderbilt looks like they just spend a lot of money on football, and I wonder if – I really do wonder if they're seeing eye to eye. Now, I know that Mike Scarborough at TigerBait.com has mentioned that, but it's really interesting to hear that and to kind of dig into that. Very interesting. As I mentioned, Tony Vitello, the guy that I want probably the most outside of a Tim Corbin. Because you can't argue with Tim Corbin. He'll have a game tomorrow. We'll see how that is. But who's an interesting guy that a lot of people have started to like is the Arizona head coach. The Arizona Wildcats head coach, Johnson. Now, his team's been really good. Jay Johnson, excuse me. I was like, damn, why didn't I write down his first name? I did. Jay Johnson. His team he's a 44-year-old guy. Record not the best, but you know what? He's built the program kind of out of nothing, but his team is really good. They hit the ball a lot. They got good pitchers. A lot of people have liked what Jay Johnson has done. So we'll have to see on Jay Johnson. I know a lot of LSU people are starting to like him, but to me, it does feel like that guy's still there. Now, O'Connor, Brian O'Connor, who is the head coach at Vanderbilt. This might be some breaking news. So we'll see how long you guys have been listening. But I hear that Brian O'Connor, the Virginia head coach, is not coming. Paul Mainieri was even kind of asked about that a little bit, and he said that he wanted O'Connor to succeed him at LSU, and he highly doubts that that's going to happen. He loves being at Virginia. I know that we kind of mentioned that last week too, a little bit, but it looks like he's out. Even so much, Paul Mainieri has pretty much told you he's out. So O'Connor is going to be out. Hashtag the Irishman. So we do have some names around this thing. Hashtag the nerd. Hashtag the Thundercat. Hashtag the Wildcat, maybe. No, we can't do that. We got to find something for Jay Johnson. That's where the comments doing a live show would help me out here. But we don't have it today. We don't have that today. So I think that, whenever these coaches start losing, whether it be Jay Johnson, whether it be Fratello, whether it be Corbin, but it doesn't look like they're going to lose, we'll start finding out more. Now, Mississippi State looked freaking great last night. 21 strikeouts, guys. I was a little wrong about Mississippi State. I thought that they'd go in there and lay an egg, and I was dead wrong. Dead wrong. Absolutely dead wrong. So we'll see. You know what? As we're sitting here in on about 30 minutes, I kind of want to wait on this name, image, and likeness thing. I mean, look, you know what? Let's just call it what it is. Well, I kind of wanted to wait, but because I want the fan interaction, I want the comments to fly in when we talk about name, image, and likeness. So I guess for the next 7 minutes or so, we can still continue to talk about the LSU Baseball Coaching Search. But, guys, there's really not a whole hell of a lot. I know that we can track planes. And, look, it was another smokescreen. I'm going to tell you this. Mike Bianco was never offered the head coaching job at LSU. I told you this last week. So I don't know why I feel like I should be obligated to say it again. He was never offered. You got a lot of people out there reporting that, well, the job is Mike Bianco's if he wants it. That was never the truth. They were never going to offer. They never offered it to him, and he was just sitting back waiting. Guys, this fake ass reporting has been so bad. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Now, I've been said this a couple times about Tim Corbin and the Supreme Court, and guys, that's not going to that had no bearing on Tim Corbin right now. None. I just don't understand where all this fake ass reporting is coming from. It feels like it's because nobody really knows what's going on, because the truth is there is no real sourcing. There is no real sourcing. They still got interviews and things that they want to conduct. They still got things that they want to do. Guys, this could go into July, and more than likely is going to go into July, unless it's Tony Vitello and they lose. We'd probably find that one out pretty quickly. There is some rumor that Tony Vitello has already accepted some things, maybe from Tennessee or from LSU. But regardless, he's going to make his decision. If LSU wants him, I hear that he's told LSU that he wouldn't turn him down. Now, we'll see if Tennessee comes back with anything, and I'm sure that they will. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? So much bad reporting and I just don't understand it. I legitimately just don't understand it. As I sit here with the comments, with having zero, it's interesting to me how much time we spend on talking to, commenting on with you guys and talking to you guys. That's very interesting to me. I miss it. This is why I hate doing pre-recorded shows. I actually want to get your guys' input and intake. It's a good debate here. It's a good time to talk. So you know what? I do feel like name, image, and likeness is something that we're going to have to table, because I really want your guys' input. Because, it's here. There's nothing we can do to stop it. And I knew that I knew we'd be missing some fan interaction with this LSU men's baseball head coaching search. But I promise you, we'll get back in it tomorrow. I know we'll get back in it tomorrow. So for now, nobody's hired. Catholic High cheated. LSU still looking for their guy who's still in Omaha. They're still talking to people. And we'll see you tomorrow so we can chat inside the comments and we can have a good debate and a good show. Maybe have a guest. Let's see if we can bring a guest on. But until then, guys, we will talk soon.